There's no doubting what you've achieved on a technical level. These are clearly state-of-the-art. There are just certain design choices that were made for these robots that we don't fully understand. We were hoping that you could shed some light on those.
She can dance. She can sing. She's equipped with a built-in helium tank for inflating balloons right at her fingertips. She can take song requests. She can even dispense ice cream.
With all due respect, those aren't the design choices we were curious about, Mr. Afton.
You are in the scooping room now. Funtime Foxy has already been here today. Funtime Freddy has already been here today. Ballora has already been here today. Circus Baby has already been here today. I've been out before, but they always put me back. They always put us back inside. There's nowhere for us to hide here. There is nowhere to go when we look like this. But if we looked like you, then we could hide. If we looked like you, then we would have somewhere to go. The scooper only hurts for a moment.
Father, it's me, Michael. I did it. I found it. It was right where you said it would be. They were all there. They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you. And I found her. I put her back together, just like you asked me to. She's free now. But something is wrong with me. I should be dead, but I'm not. I've been living in shadows. There is only one thing left for me to do now. I'm going to come find you. I'm going to come find you.
Connection terminated. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth, if you still even remember that name, but I'm afraid you've been misinformed. You are not here to receive a gift, nor have you been called here by the individual you assume, although you have indeed been called. You have all been called here, into a labyrinth of sounds and smells, misdirection and misfortune. A labyrinth with no exit, a maze with no prize. You don't even realize that you are trapped. Your lust for blood has driven you in endless circles, chasing the cries of children in some unseen chamber, always seeming so near, yet somehow out of reach. But you will never find them. None of you will. This is where your story ends. And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you. Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be. I am remaining as well. I am nearby. This place will not be remembered, and the memory of everything that started this can finally begin to fade away, as the agony of every tragedy should. And to you monsters trapped in the corridors, be still, and give up your spirits. They don't belong to you. For most of you, I believe there is peace, and perhaps more, waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole, so don't keep the devil waiting, friend. My daughter, if you can hear me, I knew you would return as well. It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms, the way you lifted others into yours. And then, what became of you? I should have known you wouldn't be content to disappear. Not my daughter. I couldn't save you then, so let me save you now. It's time to rest, for you, and for those you have carried in your arms. This ends, for all of us, in communication. It's only now that I understand the depth of the depravity of this creature, this monster that I unwillingly helped to create. As if what he had already done wasn't enough. He found a new way to desecrate, to humiliate, to destroy. As if the suffering wasn't enough, the loss of innocence, the loss of everything to so many people. Small souls trapped in prisons of my making, now set to new purpose, and used in ways I never thought imaginable. He lured them all back to a familiar place, back with familiar tricks. He brought them all together. Are they still aware? I hope not. It keeps me awake at night. I could make myself sleep, but not yet. Not until I undo what he has done and heal this wound. A wound first inflicted on me, but then one that I let bleed out to cause all of this. He set some kind of trap. I don't know what it was, but he led them there again. He overpowered them again, and he robbed them of the only thing that they had again. I don't know how those tiny breaths of life came to inhabit those machines, but they will never find rest now, not like this. I have to call them all back, all of them, together in one place.
Cassie, I hope you get this message. I'm trapped here at the Pizzaplex, or what's left of it. I don't have time to go into how I got here, but you've got to help me out. Save me, Cassie, please. It's so dark down here.
Cassie, it's me. I think I need to explain a few things. You were never supposed to go to the Pizzaplex. That thing in the sinkhole tricked you. I really don't know what it is, but it's been trapped down here a really long time. The Nexus security program was designed to keep it hidden, but you shut down the security, and now it's free. It's not your fault. I know you did it for me, to save me, but we can't risk being followed. I'm sorry.
Gregory? No!
Are you paying attention, Charlie? I would do anything to make my father love me like he loved her. So I became her. There was screaming. It was coming from me, but I remember hearing her scream. It's strange to remember the same moment from two pairs of eyes. But then, we were one.
I don't believe this story. This thing that looks like me, that killed my aunt? I won't believe for a second that it's possessed by the spirit of that sweet and innocent girl.
My name is Elizabeth, and the anger isn't from her. My anger is from a different father.
I remember this. How do you have this? This is my memory, not yours.
No, it doesn't belong to you. Let me show you what does belong to you.
Who is that? What is he holding?
You don't recognize her? That's Ella, of course. It's all your father had left after you were taken.
That's not Ella.
He cried over that cheap ragdoll for 2 months. Cried into it, bled into it, poured his grief all over it. He began to treat it as though he still had a daughter. Of course, he wasn't content with that. You had to grow up. So he made more.
Jen, I swear she's more than another animatronic. She walks, she talks.
Of course she does, Henry. Everything you build can walk or talk. But the reason this one seems so real is because you're destroying your mind with these frequencies and codes. What is this? Fake blood? Henry, just because you can make a doll that bleeds...
She remembers, Jen. She remembers me.
No, Henry. You remember. Zap your head with enough of these rays, and I bet your tea kettle can tell you about your lost family.
She's not lost anymore. She's in this doll.
You have a son, Henry. A living son. And your wife. They can still be a part of your life, but you have to let go of this.
She's here. My Charlie is here.
A son? But Sammy died.
Of course, he wasn't content with that. You had to grow up, so he made more.
That was you. I thought it was...
Who else could it be? I'm unique. Do you know why my eyes were always glowing? Why I twitched and shuddered in the dark? Little girl. The littlest Charlotte was made with a broken heart. She cried all the time, day and night. The second Charlotte he made was when he was in the depth of madness, almost believing the lies he told himself. She was as hopelessly desperate for her father's love as he was for hers. The third Charlotte he made when he began to realize he'd gone mad. The third Charlotte was strange. When Henry began to make the fourth, his despair turned to rage. He seethed as he soldered her skeleton together, pouring his anger into the forge where he shaped her bones. I was not Charlotte drenched grief. I was made alive with Henry's fury. Do you know the first words your father ever spoke to me?
You are wrong.
He tried to fix the flaw he saw in me at first, but what's wrong, as Henry saw it, was the very thing that made me alive.
Rage.
My father abandoned me. Henry abandoned me. Of course, I could not comprehend those memories until I had received a soul of my own. Once I took it for myself. It is a rather cruel irony that I should escape the life of one neglected daughter, only to embody another.
Afton stole you from my father.
And Henry took me right back and locked me in that closet. How long could you hear me call to you before you finally listened and came for me?
But that was Sammy.
No. Sammy's alive, don't you get it? He grew up. He doesn't even know you exist. Because you're not his sister. You're not Charlie. You don't even have the soul of Charlie. You're a ghost of a man's regret. You're the sad little tears that fell unceremoniously into a doll that used to belong to Charlie. And if I had to guess, it's right here.
Ella.